A good Erev Shabbos to everybody and a good Chodesh. Chodesh Elul, Tafshin Pei Vav. Okay, we're up to Kuv Vav, and we're doing a sugya of Mayim. We're doing Mayim Achroinim, and now we're going to do a sugya of Mayim Rishainim. We're going to do a sugya of Mayim Rishainim. So, three lines from the top. Ki Asa Rav Dimi, Amar Mayim Rishainim, Hechilu Basa Chazer. Those who are lax in Mayim Rishainim, you'll be fed Basa Chazer. Achroinim, those who are lack the Mayim Achroinim, but Tziras Yishim Baila will cause a woman to be divorced from her husband. That's the story according to Rav Dimi. We're going to fill in all the blanks in a second. So according to Rav Dimi, you ended up eating Basa Chazer. Only wait a second. Everybody gets on. According to Rav Dimi, you're ending up eating Basa Chazer if you lack some Mayim Rishainim. And according to Ravin, right, and you're going to and Mayim Achroinim, oh, you're going to get divorced. According to Ravin, Amar Rishon Mechilu Basa Nevela, Achroinim Hargu Esna Anefesh. You'll kill somebody. That's the story, okay? And Amar Rav Nachman by Yitzchak v'Simunecha, to remember who said what. Asa Rav Dimi. Rav Dimi came first from Bavel from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel and Afka, and he left. So Masma that the wife left out. So Ravin came and Kotla. Okay, so that was the Abba Masli Chada Mahani v'Chada Mehani. He learned one from the story of Rabbi and one from the story of Rav Dimi. Right? What's the Chumra meaning? Choice of nevela or chazer. Chazer is more chomer. Choice of divorce or being killed is more chomer. So you have 3 days over here. According to Rav Dimi, it's Rishonim is chazer and Achroinim is divorce. According to Rav Avin, Rishonim is nevela and Achroinim is death. And according to Rav Abba, Rishonim is chazer and Achroinim is death. He took both sides of the story. So what exactly is going on over here? So let's see Rashi. Hechilu basa chazer. So someone who's lax in Mayim Rishonim is hechilu basa chazer. Shahaya chenvani Yisrael. There was this Jewish chenvani. Moiche b'sar shchuta. The Yisrael, he would sell geshachter meat to Yisrael. Umevashel, and he would cook it. Umachilim. Ukeshoy b'tchavim ba b'chanusay. When a guy would come, because he had a restaurant, right? Machilu nevelis. He would go ahead and feed him nevela. Uba Yehudi echad came a Jew lechol v'leinot l'yadav. And he didn't wash Mayim Rishainim. Ukesav is there, and this the person, the restaurateur held shezer eved kechavim. Since he didn't wash Mayim Rishainim, he held that while he was a guy. The Echila basa chazer, and he fed him basa chazer. So that was the first Maisa. So now, yeah.
How was he allowed to sell nevelas to a guy? He was allowed to sell them?
Okay, so Hesh is asking a tremendous kasha. Hesh is asking a tremendous kasha. I was not going to go into it, but he asked it, and I'll bless Hashem. Let me get a. So there's a simin in Shulchan Aruch Yeridei Kuf Yud Zayin Shloilasei Schoira Midvar Iser Kol Davar She'asa Min HaTorah Af Al Pi Shemute B'Hana Im Hu Davar HaMiyuchad L'Maichal. If it's something that is miyuchad for eating. Also, lasses b'schayra. It's also to go ahead and do business with it. Says the Ramah, even to buy it and feed it to his workers that are goyim, it's asa. Kach mashma beis Yosef me'agoyis maimoni periches to maichalas isuros. Chutz min ha'chelev, with the exception of chelev, shahari nema boy yasa kamalacha, you could do anything with it. Then there's damul, it's sayed chayev oif v'dog mitmeim. Okay, it goes into. So the bottom line is Hesh's kasha is an often a chelik in Shulchan Aruch. How is that possible? How is it possible to go ahead in according to Rav Dimi selling the vela, according to Rav Avin selling him chaza? You know, he fed him chaza. According to Rav Dimi, fed him chazer. And according to Ravin, he fed him the velas. How's it possible? You see Reb Kiva Eiger, guys. Gillian Ashas. Hechilu Basa Chazer. On that, Ayin Beis Yosef Yeridea Simin Kuf Yud Zayin. You see it? Okay. I looked it up, and he says the following: you have to say this guy either A was a Russia or B it was Shas Hashmad. Rabbi Kiveg is bothered by your question, Heshi. He's bothered. How is it possible to go ahead and do business with Chaz? You're not supposed to. It's an often chelik and Shulchan Aruch. So Rabbi Kiveg is bothered by it, and he says that either he was a Russia or Shas Hashmad. Good, Heshi, okay? Okay, so that's the teretz. Very great kasha, Hesh. That's the answer to that. Okay, now, according to Rav Dimi, it was Chaza. According to Ravin, it was Nevela. What about the second part of the story? That if you're lax in Amayim Achronim, you're going to divorce your wife, or you're going to go ahead, Rod, and you're going to kill your wife. So Rashi quotes Beperek Basra de Yuma Beuvda de Kedar. Here's the story, briefly. Here's the story, guys. These Talmidei Chachamim, they came to an inn, and the May was Medayik Shma. They were Medayik Shma. They had some valuables, and they entrusted it to the innkeeper to watch. He took it. They were choshid the guy. They came back, and the guy said, "La dam." It never happened. Never happened. Anyway, it turned out they looked at the innkeeper and they went to his wife and they told the wife that your husband said you should give it back to us. She goes, and she said, what are you talking about? I don't know anything about it. He goes, he said give it back to us, and the simon he gave us is that he had lentils for breakfast. Now, how did they know that he had lentils for breakfast? Because they saw it on his lips. He hadn't wiped himself. You ever see people do my machreinim the right way? They go like this, and they go like this. You know the reason you do this is because of that ma'isa. Because of that ma'isa. Fascinating, Lenny. They go like this because of that ma'isa to get rid of the lentils. So this is the Gemara. This is the geschmack. This is the. Some people don't even know it. They go like this, and some people don't do it at all. But you see people do it, and they go like this. The reason they do that is it's because of this ma'isa to get rid of the lentils. So that's the story that took place over here. Very geschmack. Itmar. Or. Now we saw yesterday that we have machloikis. Can you use hot water yad soledis but to do mayim rishonim? Right? We saw one day it said you can't. One say you could. If it's going on the achrayim, you could do it. Okay. Chami or Chizkiya Amar ein noit lemehen liyadayim. Chizkiya says that what you can't go ahead and use it. Rabbi Yochanan Amar noit lemehen liyadayim. Guys, didn't we have a Gemara yesterday that you can't? So look at Rashi, guys. Ein noit lemehem. What does Rashi say? Mayim rishonim upligi upolig ad el. It's arguing on the Gemara that we had yesterday. The Chizkiya Tanahu, and Chizkiya is a Tana, and he can argue. To say Chizkiya is a Tana is a Chiddush. Okay, so in other words, he's arguing on yesterday's Tanoim. The Tana that said, now we had two. We had Ikad the Amri. The Ikad the Amri said you could, because it's going on the Mayim Achroinim. But according to this, he's arguing on the Mayim Rishonim, on the first day. Look at Taisvis, second Taisvis. Chami or Chizkiya Amar ein noit lemehen liyadayim. V'ad Tanya el that we learned before. Mayim rishonim noit lem bein bechamim bein b'tzainim. So Chizkiya said you can't. Ivy said you could. Muki Chizkiya kilish nekama de Rabbi Yanai de le'el. He'll go according to the first lashon that you can't do it. Kishein yad seledis. In other words, when could you? When the yad is not seledis. But over here he's speaking about when the yad is seledis. V'kanayri kishe yad seledis. So according to this, you don't have to come on to say Chizkiya was a Tana. You could say Chizkiya is going according to the first lashon, right? Yeah, what we had yesterday. If it's Yad Soledis, not if Yad not Yad Soledis, yes, he's speaking over there. Not Yad Soledis, and over here it's Yad Soledis. Therefore, you can't. Right? For Rabbi Yochanan the Shari Hacha Belashim Basra the Mukila after Yad Soledis Muta, that even though it's Yad Soledis, it's Muta. The Ubechinam Pirish Kuntrus to Chizkiya Tanu Upalaga Brisa the El, and therefore Rashi was. For no reason, going ahead and be doichik and saying Chizkiya was a Tana. So you have two ways to learn over here, okay? Okay, now, so if it's hot water, you can't go ahead. If it's boiled water, you won't be able to go ahead and use it according to Chizkiya. Ein le'el men le'yadayim. Rabbi Yochanan says what? You could. I'm Rabbi Yochanan. Shalti es Rabbi Gamliel b'nai shel Rabbi. I asked Rabbi Gamliel, the son of Rabbi, v'oichel tyrus, and he was oichel b'tyrus, so therefore he was he was going to see that the reason why we wash hands is not an akiyas tikadin, it's a tyrus tikadin. V'yam ali kol gedolei gala loisen kain. They went ahead and they would go ahead and they would wash with what with water, with hot water, and therefore that's the halacha. Okay, now what about chamei tveria? Literally, the waters of Tiberias. We're talking about a subterranean stream, what we call a geyser, that the water coming from the earth is hot. You not only you can't wash your hands with it, but you could be toivel your hands in it. You can't wash your hands, but you can't be toivel your hands. Rabbi Yochanan kol gufa toivel behen, avalei pon of yadav v'raglav. Right? Rabbi Yochanan says you can be toivel your hands, your body, but you can't be toivel your hands. Hashda kol gufay toivel behen pon of yadav raglav kol shkein. If you can be toivel your whole body, of course you can do your hands. Pon of yadav alav dafka, guys. The yadav is the important thing over here. Right. So in other words, there's two dinim, guys. There's a din in netila and a din of tefillah. The Gemara in Chagiga, fellas, you go ahead for kodesh. It's not enough to go ahead and wash your hands. Netila, you have to be toivel. You have to be toivel your hands. Okay. Okay. Now, what's wrong with chamei tveria, guys? What should be the problem? If you tell me that good Chizkiah says hot water is no good over here, but what could be the problem? So here I share with you the words of the Ritva. Okay, let's do a little more before we see the Ritva. Let's do a little more. Amra Papa, b'mekaymam. If you're going to go in the stream itself where the geyser is coming up and you stick your hands in, the kuliyam le'prili the shari. There's no machlokes. Even Chizkiah would agree with Rabbi Yochanan that it's good. Mishakol minayom b'mana, to go ahead and take a cup of chamei tveria and pour it on your hands. The kuliyam le'pligi the aser. Even Rabbi Yochanan would go ahead and say it's aser. So guys, according to this, we're going to have to differentiate, like Rabbi Yochanan, between chamei tveria and chamei or. We have two memories over here, fellas. We have hot water that's heated up. We have hot water that's naturally hot. Chizkiah says both are no good. Rabbi Yochanan says both are good. Good. Now, we're going ahead and saying that if it's going ahead and sticking your hands in, but tefillah, it's good. Netila is no good. So right now we have no machlokes. So if you're going to stick your hands in the chamei tveria, everyone will hold it's good, even Chizkiah. If you're going to take a cup of that water and wash your hands, everyone is going to say it's no good, even Rabbi Yochanan. So I'm just warning. Like Rabbi Yochanan, we're going to have to make a chilik between heated water in a kli and chamei tveria in a kli. Where heated water in a kli says is good, and chamei tveria is no good. Good, we'll get to that. That's what Rifa is going to say in a second. Good. Ki pligi, I'll be with you in a second, listen. Ki pligi, the paskinu b'baspirsa, where you go ahead and you channel off the water a little bit, and you're not going to have memsa. Masava gazrinan baspirsa otamana. Chizkiah is geyser. If we let you use a baspirsa, stick your hands in the baspirsa, you may come to use a kli, because it's not the makam of the geyser itself. Umasavar, and Rabbi Yochanan says loy gazrinan. You're not geyser. Yes, nothing.
Dipping your hands in water has ka'ain that you're going to the mikveh as opposed to pouring?
Yeah. There's for kotshim. It's more in chagiga. For kotshim, it's not enough to do netila. You'd have to do tefillah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's set it up, guys. Let's set it up. We have machlokes in two places. We have machlokes by regular heated water and by chamei tveria. By heated water, Chizkiah says it's no good, and Rabbi Yochanan says it is good. And you could use a kli, it's no problem. Whether Chizkiah argues completely or he's discussing the level of heat, it's machlokes Rashi and Taisus. But Rabbi Yochanan says you could. According to by chamei tveria, it seems everyone says inside you could be toivel, kli is out. And the machlokes is by this baspirsa you channel it off. And you geyser at Chizkiah is geyser at the kli, that you're worried about a kli, and Rabbi Yochanan's not. So what's the difference, like Rabbi Yochanan, between Chamei Or and Chamei Tveria, right? What's the difference? Okay, so if you look at Rashi, says Rashi, Lahat bul yadav bohem the kuli al mashapidami. Everyone says you could be toivel. The shame tefillah aleihem, the shame tefillah is on them. Kechol mayanais mikvayis. Like any mikvah, you have to go down a little bit, Nasan. Like any mayan, any fountain, or any mikvah, it's good. Mishakul benaya b'mana, to go ahead and take a kli. Lishpoich al yadav kedin hanatila. You see two separate dinim, Nasan, right? There's a din of tefillah and there's a din of natila. So to use it for tefillah as a mikvah, no problem. To use it as natila, no problem. Everyone agrees. However, kuliyama asa. Why is it asa? The chitikin rabbanon natila lav bechamim tikim. When the rabbanon came up with the reason for natila, as we're going to see in today's daf, they were matakin not with hot water. V'hani gri michamei or. Now Rashi's bothered by a question, guys. What's Rashi bothered by? Rabbi Yochanan said hot water is good. Rabbi Yochanan said you can go ahead for natila, you can wash your hands with hot water. So what do you mean? The chachamim weren't talking hot water. So why is chamei tferia no good and chamei or good? These are worse because there never was a time when it was cold water. Guys, let's talk a little brisk over here. If water is you can't use it, it loses its shemayim. It loses its shemayim. Where once upon a time it had a shemayim, your heating it up is not going to remove that. Thus, Rabbi Yochanan says you can gissen. You can go ahead, and you can use it. On the other hand, Chamei Tveria was always hot from the beginning of its creation. Memele never had a shemayim, and therefore you can't use it. Guys, we're going to see halachas in the tila. You need kosher water. You need a kosher kli. You need a kosher amount, right? So this felt in the mayim. This is not water. That's the difference in Chamei Or, which once upon a time was water. That's the explanation of Rashi's learning in Shasa Kosher. Okay, that's Rashi. It's mirrored by the Ritva. Ritva says a little more. Let's see the Ritva inside. Guys, it's not because of its chamimus, not because of its heat. Because we concluded, based upon yesterday's daf, that even yatzei ledes, if it's hot to the degree of yatzei ledes, you could use it for mayim rishonim. El mishum says the Ritva shehem marim, they're bitter. And even an animal won't drink it. So what's the hesper? If it's bitter, an animal won't drink it. It's not mayim. It's not mayim. It has nothing to do with heat. It has to do what? Because it's bitter, and an animal won't drink it. Inami, you need mayim that you didn't change the tzura. The netilas yadayim, the chulin, the truma, dumya. Oh, guys, listen, beautiful hesba. This is Rashi's pshat. You need mayim that it never changed its tzura. It never changed its tzura whatsoever. It's still going to be like that. The netilas yadayim, the chulin, the truma, right? The netilas yadayim of chulin and truma. Where do you learn it from? Dumya, the kiddush yadayim raglayim and akiyah. You need similar to the kiddush yadayim raglayim from the kiyah. It has to be similar to that. Mishum dechsiv, what does it say about the kiyah? And v'hasam yalfinan deboy mayim shlein ishtanu tzurasam. By the kiyah, we learned that you need water that never changed its tzura. It never changed its form. Mishum dechsiv mayim trei zimni v'nasata shama mayim, and it says yirchatzu mayim. V'chad minayim meyusa lidrasha. The boy mayim kavayasan. You need mayim like kavaya. V'chamei or lechoshev shinoi. Chamei or is not considered a shinoi. It's going back to what it was before. Aval chamei teveria shem muchanim. They from the beginning of time. Mitchilasan choshev shinoi kach perish Rabbeinu Zal. That's the explanation of the Ramban and the Rashba. How's that, guys? Very, very, very geschmack, right? The Ritva speaks like an achron. Very clear. He's speaking very, very clear. So now we have a chilik, beautiful chilik. Chamei or, which isn't bitter. Chamei or, which once upon a time was clear-cut mayim. The fact that you heat it up, it doesn't lose its shem mayim, and mainly you can go ahead and do netila with it. Because one of the takonas of the chachamim was, you need a kli and you need water. That's considered water. Chamei teveria, from the beginning of its bria, was never water. You can never. It was always hot. It was never water. Memela, you can't use it. That's the difference between the two, and that would explain the difference. Like Rabbi Yochanan, why chami or yes and chami tferya not. Okay, very nice. Okay, so now we have this baspirsa, this gezira, the goysa baspirsa. Kitanoi. Guys, kitanoi. Mayim shenifsalu mishtias behema, bekalim psulim, bekarka ksherim. That's consistent, right? Bekalim meaning using it, lashon netila, using it to go ahead and as in a kli, that you can't do. It's but bekarka in the mikvah that you could do. Rav Shimon Elazar, ap bekarka toivel behen kol gufay, avloy panav yodav v'raglav. Hashta kol gufa toivel behen yodav v'raglav kol shkin. Doesn't make any sense. You can't be toivel your hands if you can do the whole body. Of course you can be toivel your hands. Elalav must be the paskina with baspirsa must be where you channel off some of the water. Uba pligi. The masa of our gazrinon Rav Shimon ben Elazar is goyza baspirsa tamana. That if we let you stick your hands in the baspirsa, you may come to use a kli. Umasa v'loy gazrinon. And Masa, the Tanakama says what we're not goyza. Amra vidi barav and Amra Yitzchak barashion. The tilas yadayim l'chulin b'fnei srach truma. Guys, from the beginning of time, you know you wash your hands before bread. Since you're a little boy, but they never told you why. Okay, let's go over a little Tumah V'Taira. A nav touches food, the food's a rishon. The rishon touches another food, it's a sheni. A sheni touches a third food, it's nothing, except that the food is truma. If it's truma, it becomes a shlishi. And if then that touches another food, it's a reviv, it's kachim. What's the level of hands? What's the gezeira on your hands, guys? It's a sheni. If you're a kohen, you better make sure your hands are washed, because you eat truma, you're going to move metam to truma. You know why we used to elim go ahead and wash our hands? We some shrach because of the habit of truma. That the kohanim should go ahead and wash their hands. You can't make this stuff up. You're washing your hands. It's all because of habitual for kahanim, that they should be able to go ahead and keep the truma that should be b'taira. So the reason is mishum srach truma. The reason you do it is because srach means habitual. Look at Rashi. Go down a little bit. Srach truma, chutzruchu. For srach truma, that's why you need it. Shayidayim shniyos. Yidayim are sheni l'truma. Upoisle says truma, and they're going to pass the truma. Al v'chulin loy mahani b'hu sheni. Chulin, sheni can't be metama chulin. And if they srach truma, sheyagilu oichle truma litlu yedayim, hanaheges b'chulin. That's why we like by chulin. Can you imagine? That's it. For oid mishum mitzvah. In addition, mishum mitzvah, my mitzvah, amar abaya mitzvah l'shmaya divrei chachamim. Machlekes Rashi and Taisus, we won't go into it. Rabbi amar mitzvah l'shmaya divrei chachamim. Mitzvah l'shmaya divrei Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. Okay, so we have machlekes between Abaya and Rava. Mitzvah l'shmaya divrei chachamim that made this takana, and according to Rava, mitzvah l'shmaya divrei Elazar ben Arach. It's a mitzvah to listen to Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. The chsiv v'chol sheyiga ba hazov v'yadav le'shataf b'mayim v'chol sheyiga ba hazov, anything hazov touches v'yadav and his hands le'shataf b'mayim. Now, fellas, if azov touches you, washing your hands ain't going to help anything. You got to go to the mikveh, baby. So what does it mean? If the zav, again, the zav, I'm talking about the zav, not that he touches you, excuse me. The zav himself, if he didn't wash his hands, what do you mean he didn't wash his hands? The zav is the zav, he's got to go to the mikveh. The zav has to go to the mikveh. From here, samchu chacham l'tilas yadayim in a Torah. Okay, here the chacham masaymach l'tilas yadayim in a Torah, that you have a smach from this pasuk. So according to Abaya, it's the takana. According to Rava, it's a mitzvah to listen to Rabbi Elazar ben Arach, who says that this is you have a smach from the Torah. Amalei Rav of Nachman, my mashma, the chsiv v'yadav l'shatav b'mayim, hashatav tar, if the zor would go ahead and wash his hands, he'd be tar. Hatfila boy, yes, go to mikvah. Elachi kamar. V'achar, another person who is tahar, shalei shatav tamei. A person, in other words, here's read the pasuk. V'chol she'yigba hazav, v'chol hazav, stop. V'yadav l'shatav mayim, and another person that's tahar and doesn't wash his hands, that's the asmachta that you have to wash your hands. BTW. This is the only psak of Rav Elazar ben Aruch in Shas, which is a tremendous, if those people learn Pirkei Avos, guys, is a tremendous, tremendous kushya, a bomb kasha. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was going ahead and extolling the virtues of his Talmidim. And he said, Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus was on one side, he'd outweigh everybody. Abba Shol says, if Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch was on the other side, and all the Talmidim Chachamim in the world, including Rabbi Elazar ben Hyrcanus, was on the other side, Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch would outweigh them all. And yet, we only have one memra of his in Shas. One. Now, there's a Gemara in Shabbos, Kuf Mem Zayin. The Gemara discusses what happened to him. It says after the Churban Bayis, after the Churban Bayis, that the Talmidim, they all went to Yavna. He was the Gadol Ador, and his wife said, go to Diyu Meses. Let's go to a resort. Go to a resort. He goes to this resort, and he enjoyed the good life. He came back. He was supposed to be at a Chodesh Elochem. He made, guys, he couldn't make he said other words. I forgot the words at the top of my head. He forgot his Torah. They davened that it should come back. Ad kedei kach. Said Rabbi Avigdor Miller, what was his problem? He listened to his wife. that was his day. My pet peeve with this is against Rabbi Sruli Bronstein. You're going to love this, Lenny. Sruli Bronstein quotes the Marsha on the Gemara in Chagiga. He quotes it all the time. I quote him on it 5 years ago, and I quote him on it now, and he doesn't answer me. There's a Gemara in Chagiga that describes Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch, that he was going with Rabbi Yochanan, a beautiful Gemara. They were walking along, and Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch says to Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, go ahead and teach me something in the Ma'aser Merkava. And the Gemara says that, well, he told him, unless you're roy l'kach, I can't teach you, whatever. So Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch says, let me tell you something. And he says, okay. And it describes how Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai got off the donkey, went ahead, wrapped himself in his talis, and he said, why are you getting off the donkey? So he goes, maybe you're going to go ahead and darshan the Ma'aser Merkava. You're going to darshan the Ma'aser Merkava, and the Shekhinah is going to be with us, and I should be sitting on a donkey. He posted Ma'aser Merkava. Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch opened with the Ma'aser Merkava. The tree started singing. The place was bananas, and Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai gives him a tremendous bracha. Baruch Avram Avinu, unbelievable. It's the Chakasha. He said to him, on one hand, let me teach me on Ma'aser Merkava, and he told him that roy l'kach. And then he says, maybe you're going to say something in Ma'aser Merkava. So what do you mean? If you didn't teach it to him, how's it possible to say something in Ma'aser Merkava? Answers the Marsha. This is speaking after the Ma'aser of the Meses. Good teretz. The Torah he learned before, he learned Ma'aser Merkava. He went to Diyu Meses and he forgot all his learning. Now he wants Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai to say something to him. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai says, maybe you're not roy l'kach. You're not the same person. So but maybe they remember something. So that was the dialogue. And Sruli brings it in all the time. This is a Yalkut Shemaini in Koheles Zayin. Guys, listen to the Lashon, and you'll hear the Kasha. Chamisha Talmidim hoyel Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. He had 5 Talmidim. Kol echad hayakayim, kol zman shahayakayim. The whole time Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was alive, hayoshmin lefanav. They sat in front of him. Ukeshenifta halach lem liyavna. They all went to Yavna. V'halach Rabbi Elazar ben Aruch eitzel ishtoi l'diyu meses. There's an afana Yalkut that says the whole time Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was alive, they sat by him. Only after his death did they go to the Meses. It's an upshlag on the Marsha. It's a bar on the Marsha. Marsha can't be correct. The Yalkut says Mefurish that he only went to the Meses after the death of Yochanan ben Zakkai. It can't be speaking both. It can't be speaking both. You hear the bomb, guys. So it can't be speaking both. Marsha says one was before, one was afterwards. It's not true. According to the Yalkut is like a medrash, guys. It's a medrash. It's Tanoim. It's not an Amoira. It's not a Rishon. It's a Tana. It's not even a Amoira. It's all the way back. It's Friadik. And it says clearly that he only went to the Yumeses afterwards. Okay, so that's my pet peeve. Why is my pet peeve? Because I told him 5 years ago, I shared it with him, and he goes, I like this Marsha. So you like it, great, you like it. Don't bring, at least bring the kasha on it, you know? At least bring I like the Marsha also. If it'll be correct, I like it even better. Okay, so this is, but you're not hearing by Stefanski or Sully Bornstein. You're getting it from Stern. Now that I got that off my chest, let's go learn some Torah. I can't wait to see the blog on this one. Okay. Anyway, so we're doing Mayim Rishonim, guys. We do Mayim Rishonim. Mayim Rishonim is what is Srach Truma. The reason is what is Srach Truma. This habitual thing is Truma. Very good, Shmak. And we have two sources. We have Rabbi Loza ben Aruch saying this is a source the Raisa, but it's a Smach the Balma. Anyway, Rabbi Loza, Rabbi Oishia. In other words, the whole reason is Srach Truma, fellas. The Paris is not Truma. The only Paris of Truma would be grapes and olives. Grapes and olives. By wheat, by the grain, so it's all Truma dik, right? So you have to go ahead and you have to wash. But over here, there's no concern. So why are you washing? That's what the Gemara is saying. Why are you washing? So it's not a din in Truma and Tyra. It's a din in the Kiyas. You wash. You should be shmutzadik. Savamina chayvahu the leka hamitzvah. They said there's no chiyuv to wash, but there's a mitzvah to wash. Amalahu rava le chayvav le mitzvah le rishus. It's not a chiyuv. It's not a mitzvah. It's neither. It's a rishus. Uplig the Rav Nachman, who says Dam Rav Nachman and Noikel Yad lePeiris ein elam gasi ruach. Guess what? And this is what we paskin. If you wash with Paris, you're a Bal Gaiva. Guys, you're not, this thing, don't be fruma don't show yourself as such a fruma. You're going to go ahead and you're washing for Paris, you're making, it's you're showing yourself off. That's something that you, too much. So you you're a Bal Gaiva. Don't do it. So that you held is a rishus that argues of Nachman. Says of Nachman, don't do it. It's not even a rishus. Don't do it at all. Amar Rabbi Rav Chana, Havikim the Kamei Rav Ami, Rav Asi, Aisel Kamayo Kilkol de Peri. I was sitting in front of Rav Ami and Rav Asi, and they brought in front of us a kilkol of Paris. For Achlu, for Lei Moshe Yadayu. For Achlu, for Lei Moshe Yadayu, and they ate from the Paris, and they didn't wash their hands. For Yovli Midi, and didn't give me anything. So Rabbi Baruch Chana is stating that the great Rav Ami and Rav Asi in Eretz Yisrael, they had a basket of Paris. They ate from it. They didn't wash their hands, which is why we brought it in now, because you didn't wash your hands for Paris. And nor did they give him anything. And each one made an own nach bracha. Each one made a nach bracha mein shalish al michya. Shmami not tlas. Shmami not ein etil yadayim leParis when they didn't wash. Ushmami not ein mazminim ala Paris, or else they would have invited me. In other words, that they didn't give me because there's no din of zimun by Paris, and therefore, if it had been pas, they would have given me pas to go ahead and join the chabura for zimun. But over here, not. Ushmami na shnaim she'achlu mitzvah lechalik. Shnaim she'asu, it's a mitzvah to go ahead and separate, because each one made a bracha by themselves. They weren't mitzvah to the other one. Tanya nami hachi shnaim she'achlu mitzvah lechalik. That's if they're both learned people. If one's a seif and the other one's a bor, it means it doesn't know how to make a bracha. Then the seif will make the bracha and the bar would yaitza. Shmei koina. Tan rabbanan. Okay, now geshmak, guys. To make this as easy as possible, look at me. Look at my hand. I'm always with the hands, right? This is your first. This is the first knuckle. This is the second, and this is the third. So the first knuckle is like the first digit, not the first one. It's the second digit. The third digit is the fingers to the gav yad, and then it's to your wrist. So we're going to see now when you wash your hands how much you have to wash your hands. And again, it's going to describe 1, 2, 3. 1 is the second digit. 2 is your finger to your palm, and the third one is your wrist. So it's 1, 2, 3. Says the Gemara. Tana Rabbana. The Tilish Yadayim L'Chulin Ada Perek. Till the knuckle. The Truma Ada Perek. Till the knuckle. Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim B'Migdash Ada Perek. Very geschmack, right? So V'chol Dava Shechaitzis B'Tfila B'Guf Chaitzis B'Tilis Yadayim L'Chulin. Anything that's a chatzitza by going to the mikvah is be a chatzitza by Netilas Yadayim. L'Chulin V'Kiddush Yadayim V'Raglayim. Okay, B'Migdash. Amarav. Okay, now what does that mean? Ada Perek. Look at Rashi. Top Rashi. Ada Perek Hasheni Shebe'emtza Etzbois. Guys, this is V'Chulin. Look at me. This is Chulin right here. Right here. Okay? The kibin dimishum srach truma. The reason that you're washing is only because the habitual to get used to truma. Ba'alma. Dayoy. Imnakel b'mashinageya b'maichel dahainu rashi etzbaisav. You're going to touch the food. Guys, what are you going to touch it with? You're going to touch it with your fingers. Rashi etzbaisav. Memela, since the whole reason for washing for chulin is srach truma, you're going to go ahead and wash till here. You're going to wash till here. That's all you does. That's good. That's ada perek. Litruma ada perek. Perek shlishi, guys. You know what that is? Look at me. That's this. This is the knuckles. This is al gav yad. This is al gav yad. Kiddush yadayim reglayim min akiyar. This ad ha perek is going to be until the perek, guys. He'elyoin. Makam chibur hayad vazroya. It's where the hand attaches to the arm. So therefore, you got 3. So truma is this. Chulin is this. Truma is this, and Kiddush Yadayim Raglayim is what up to the wrist. Now, Amarav Ad Kan L'Chulin, Ad Kan L'Truma. He would show them until here L'Chulin, until here to Truma. Ushmul Amar Ad Kan Bein L'Chulin Bein L'Truma. Okay, L'Chumra. So he's Machmir. Good. So he would show on his hands, and he would say the following. Rab would say, guys, look, this is what Rab would say. Ad kan l'chulin, ad kan l'truma. And Shmuel would say, ad kan l'chulin u'l'truma, l'chumra. That even for chulin, you have to wash your fingers, the whole finger, guys. Got it? Even l'chulin, you'd have to wash l'chumra. It's not enough the first knuckle, the second knuckle there. You'd have to go to the full finger. Okay? Ad kan bein l'chulin, bein l'truma l'kula. He'd go, Shmuel's going the other direction, guys. Not over here. Look at me. You wouldn't need over here for Chulin Truma. Truma is enough over here as well. Again, according to Shmuel, the question is are we being machmir or mekel? If we're being machmir, we're going to require Chulin to be the same place as Truma. If we're going to be mekel, we're going to put Truma as the same place as Chulin. I'm going to go up. We're going to go up to the second one, right? No one's saying the risk. We're playing between the digits of this over here and over here. According to the Chumrah, Chulin's going to be here. According to the Kula, Truma is going to be here. That's what we're saying over here. Amar Behedya, Havikim Nekmei de Rev Ami, V'Amar Ad Kan Bein L'Chulin Bein L'Truma L'Chumrah, like Shmuel. V'Leitema Rev Ami Mishum de Koyin Hu. I don't think Rev Ami said he's being machmir because he's a Koyin. The Rabbi Maisha, the Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Havi Lavoy, Maisha, the son of the grandson of Yeshua ben Levi, he was Levi. V'Amar Ad Kan Bein L'Chulin Bein L'Chulin L'Truma. He went ahead and he said Machmir up to there.